This is HarshrealistUK wishing you a good evening from the United Kingdom on the 7th of August 2013. I've not been producing any animated cartoons for the last 3 weeks, and the reason for this is the extra normal software is no longer available. The last time it could be used was the 31st of July of this year. So there's a temporary break from my animated cartoons. However, I will still be making videos, and I shall be doing personal appearances. In the UK, I tend to write to the newspapers, and I tend to have a few comments printed in the newspaper. The one I want to show you at the moment is the Telegraph. And today is Wednesday the 7th of August, and you can see from the video that this is about Mark Carney inflation report as it happened. I'm still very concerned about the way things are panning out regarding what the central banks are doing. And what I'd like to do is just scroll down to my comments. You can see here there's been 210 comments with this particular article. I'm just going to click onto it now, and if you look carefully you can see what I've written in my comments regarding this subject. This is actually done in order by best rating, and I am pleased to say that the people in the UK seem to be waking up. I posted this morning, and you can see it's already been recommended by 163 people. I put here, I'm truly saddened at those in power claim we are in recovery. Nothing could be further from the truth. The reality is we are heading for the greatest depression ever. And I've said before in my previous videos, I take no delight whatsoever in stating this fact. I am certainly no doom and gloom merchant. I just see harsh reality, and the harsh reality is this: ingenious ways to over leverage since 1971, i.e. when the dollar became detached from the gold standard, introduction of credit cards, subprime lending, and yes, that awful time bomb derivatives. We've never really been in a situation like this before. This is completely unprecedented. Increasing private and public debt. For example, in the US, the debt ceiling stands at $16.4 trillion. I'm just going to zoom in on that, just in case it's difficult to read. The debt ceiling issue should have been addressed in March of this year. It was then delayed to May, then June, and now it's been delayed to Labour Day in September. The current debt stands at $17 trillion, and that excludes unfunded liabilities such as pensions, Medicare and entitlements. Well, what can I say about that? The general public don't seem to realise how much debt there is in the system. In the UK, we are hardly getting the deficit reduced. Indeed, I predict the deficit will start to balloon as we start to suffer from the paradox of thrift. The debt, of course, is still rising, and therefore I can never see the day when we balance our books. It won't. I can't see the books ever being balanced. And what seems to be happening is that they just don't care. They just are now living off unsustainable debt. The US continues with quantitative easing at $85 billion a month, and that actually equates to about $37,000 per second, and this is to keep the fairy tale alive. And the truth is, we have passed the tipping point. We cannot in the near future get back to a sustainable recovery. It's just impossible. When you look at the truly awful fundamentals, we need to get used to a new reality of a much lower standard of living, and that is the reality ahead of us. And they can try and dress things up as much as they like. There is absolutely no real recovery. So this is how I see matters developing. there is definitely, in my opinion, going to be more draconian government to keep the population under control. Reduction in our freedoms in exchange for security. Many people will actually welcome this. I've actually spoken to quite a few people, and they seem to think, you know, when you look at terrorists, they seem to think it's very, very high profile, and they'll say, yes, we must reduce our freedoms to protect ourselves. And this is the way they are being brainwashed. Bank bailings will become the norm as banks need to recapitalise. Cyprus, in my opinion, was a template. Now this has been quite big news in the UK, and it's about zero-hour contracts. More zero-hour contracts as competition for jobs become more fierce. Again, in my opinion, it seems crazy to open the gates to Bulgaria and Romania. All this will do is drive down wages and benefit the multinational corporations. In the UK, when it becomes the 1st of January 2014, we're just going to open our gates even further for more people to come in and take our jobs. And that's exactly what will happen. They're just going to drive down wages. I mean, it's bad enough now in the UK. There's a lot of unstable work contracts, but this is the new norm. And who takes advantage of it? The multinational corporations. A paradigm shift is occurring. Seriously, people, we need to adjust for this. The mainstream media are not helping the population. They are reporting strong growth, but the fundamentals point in the opposite direction. The stock market is being pumped up. I truly believe it is ready for a major crash. Reality always catches up in the end. They can try and keep the party going as long as they like, but it's going to crash, and I think it big style. The ones that have watched my animated cartoons have seen Willy Coyote suspended in midair, having gone off a cliff. Well, we are now in the stage where he's about to look down and then he's going to fall. I've had some replies to my post, and it's encouraging to note that people are beginning to agree with me. There's a chap here that says, hard to disagree with any of the analysis, I'm sorry to stay. Your remark about the mainstream media particularly resonates the day after the Evening Standard splashed the headline, "Booming Britain has a wow factor all over London." Well, people are starting to wake up. People are becoming more like-minded and beginning to see the reality ahead. There's another post here that says, exactly right. Since 1723 we have been ruled by the Committee of 300 led by a Fabian communist, usually called the Queen. Anyway, just a quick update really. I've not gone and lost forever. It's just a case of a little bit of a break. I'm looking for something similar to Extra Normal to continue with my animated cartoons. Thank you very much for your support, and the reason also why I've done this video is I've been getting messages to find out where I've been, but I will be back with the activity of giving you updates on how I see the financial crisis developing. Thank you for your patience.